Hello, my wonderful friends. Magus with you on a beautiful day in Asha. If you're brand new to the channel, we are Zoroastrians. We are the Magi, and oh, am I excited about today's message. You know, people are fascinated with the Magi because the word magic was named after the Magi. And my friends, in Asha 4, the Magi spell out for us how they perform magic. And it's very short and very simple. Like most of the things in Zoroastrianism, it's easy for you to wrap your mind around. Well, at least your God mind, your Vohu Mainyu, you can understand it. And what I love about the teachings of the Magi, it's something that you can incorporate in your life right away, and it works. How about that? Asha 4 says create with words. So we want to create a better life, a better world. Maybe it's health, protection, provision. We want to bring it into manifestation. How do we do that? We create with word. What is word? That's pretty important. If that's how we create, we do magic or miracles or whatever you want to call it, we have to do it through word. Word is energy. Word is information. Word is spirit. So we need to use the intangible to bring it into the tangible. So spirit, think frequency, vibration, think information. And the beautiful thing about this, my friends, well, first let me say this. There's two energies, right? Asha 13 talks about that. There's the original word that came from a perfect creator's perfect mind, and then there's a false word. So there's two words. So we want to make sure we're holding the right word. Now here's the rub. Every religion says they have the original word, the original God. How do you know, right? I'm going to show you that. So it says these four powers are the mental power concerned with forming. So first it tells us there's four powers we have to learn if we want to do magic or miracles or manifesting, however you wrap your mind around it. There's four things we have to learn. Then it says, and they are mental powers concerned with forming. So it's mental first, right? It's spirit, it's information, it's idea. And then that's concerned with forming, bringing it into form and matter. Number one is temperance. Oh my God, there's so much in this. Temperance, self-restraint, do not sin or think err. And now, my friends, it could even say do not sin and think err. Thinking err is any time you're not thinking from the God mind. Because this original word, even God himself, there's not a language that man has come up with. There's no school you can go to, no book you can read that will show you the original word, our God. It can point you in the direction. But my friends, there's not a language or a story that will convey that to you. You're going to have to go inside. There's a divine spark, a fravashi in your heart of hearts that comes from good spirit and is actually made of good spirit, that is good spirit. God is in you, right? You are the temple. The kingdom of God is inside of you. God is inside of your temple, your body. It's in what you are. And you have to go in, because when you think of God, our word, right, with your brain, it's going to go through the stories you've heard about God. If I say God to a person in the Middle East, or God to a person here in America, they're going to have a different idea from the stories and the language that they've heard and had over their lifetime. And that's just going to be it to them. But you soon find out that's not it. This name of God cannot be spoken outside of the temple. And you got to go inside. That's where the name is spoken and is realized in that original word. Now, a funny thing, I don't know with your religion, but with mine, I remember my youth pastor telling me to never meditate, because I was asking him about it. And he said, no, don't ever meditate. He was afraid you might get tricked by a demon. He told me that the people that he knew that meditated, they all left their religion. My friends, and I'll tell you the reason why, because when you find that true God, that good, those true stories, you do find they don't align with the stories you were told in your religion, in your books, in your ideas of God, because the human language and the human stories cannot even touch how great and good God is. And that's why you'll see like people like Jesus, right? He talked about the loving Father that was totally different than the God of the Jewish people, of an eye for an eye. Go and kill the men, women, and children and take the spoils. Stone your children when they're disrespectful. Stone the woman caught in adultery. Right? Jesus presented the loving Father, totally different than what they were teaching. And what they do, they crucified him. And look at through all out history, you'll see the thing. Even Socrates, right? He said that the gods they were presenting couldn't be gods because they weren't good. They were tricksters, and they would do evil. You can't call that the highest principle of good. What did they do? They killed Socrates. Look at all the greats that went inside to get that true name, that true idea. And when you do that, you wake up. My friends, will you stay with me? I know there's 4 of them. We're still on number 1. But if you want to learn the name of God, the original word, how to work in Magi, magic, and miracles, you got to learn this stuff. My friends, so let me stay on 1 for a minute. You know, it makes me think about my pastor that I love so much. He actually named his son Joshua because he loved Joshua and the stories in the Bible. And he said he was such a hero and a man of God. You know, and I noticed something. Every time my pastor was trying to raise money for building your project, our new sound equipment, he always told the story of Joshua and Achan. And now here's what I want you to see. Once you've gone inside and found the true name of God, the original word, the real above all real, you're going to see why you can no longer listen to the old stories. And this is what happened to me. And so he's telling the story about Joshua and Achan. So Joshua tells him, go and kill the men, women, and children. Think about that alone. You know, killing children, killing anyone's horrible. Children, I don't know. Take the spoils back, but don't touch the Lord's money. Achan kept some of the silver and different things, buried it under his tent. Joshua found out. And I do not like the way he said it. He said, son, tell me what you've done. Called him son, like, it's going to be okay. Just be honest. Tell me what you've done. He admitted he kept some of the treasure. Joshua brought his wife and children out and killed them in front of the army, and to show them, do not touch the Lord's treasure. Now once you've known the true God, do you think that's justice? Do you think that's God? If you saw that today, if a man stole some money and they brought out his wife and children and killed them as an example, would you call that justice? Would you call that good? Would you call that God? My friends, and you start thinking, and you start looking at all of it, and you start to think, that's not God. That's not the highest principle of good. You'll find it when you go inside to that divine spark, that fravashi. So you don't want to think, sin, and err. And here's the rub. My friends, what you were told was God. What you were told was the holy book. What you told was the chosen people, and you find out it's not. That's what mom and dad said, grandma and grandpa said, right? That's what society says. But you found something different. Are you going to be strong enough to choose the real above all real, the good? Are you just going to go along with the crowd? It's easier, isn't it? These 4 powers are the mental power concerned with forming temperance, self-restraint. Do not sin or think, err. So we got to go inside And I'll tell you what you'll discover. You'll discover Asha, the perfect creator's perfect idea that's all good. It's unmixed. The world religions present us a God that's mixed. He loves and hates. He'll send sickness and disease, our health. Right? He can be at peace, our war, and it's mixed. Zoroaster is pure light. Number one, you have to think truth, not think air. Think the original word. Find the original name of God that's inside of you and hold that and be that. That's step number one. I'm going to leave you with that. And we'll get to number two on the next video. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Hit that like button. Go to the comments and know I love you.